Hello viewers, I'm Ron Grant coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands with this very special report. Are you trying to keep up with work, juggling all these spinning balls at home, and longing to maintain some semblance of a social life? In this 6-week devotional for women, work and life coach Marva Titley-Smith shows you how to slow down and thrive one day at a time. She shares lessons from her mistakes, living a breakneck speed mindset, shifts she's made, and insights gained from coaching women, that is, over the past 9 years. Now, with daily devotions covering the core life areas such as spirituality, family, emotional, personal growth, physical, career, social, and financial, Marva reminds you that God cares about your aspect, every aspect that is of your life, and busy life for that matter. In just about 15 minutes a day, you will connect to the heart of God and move from overwhelm to peace, and from distracted living to a life full of passion and purpose. No matter how busy you are or overwhelming your life may be, you can thrive. Now, Marva A. Titley-Smith is a management and leadership consultant, work and life coach, and author. She is a passionate, of course, about equipping, inspiring, and empowering women to thrive beyond 9 to 5 so that they can fully live with purpose and passion. If you want to connect with her outside of this amazing feature that we're going to conduct in a few minutes, you can do so by visiting www.marvaasmith.com. We're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 Media. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangara, Japanek, not forgetting Anigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness. Viewers, welcome back, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Now, Your Time to Thrive was published on November 9th, 2021, and will be officially launched here in the British Virgin Islands this coming Thursday. The daily devotion has debuted as the #1 in releases in 4 categories. They are women's spirituality, spiritual meditations, conduct of life and spirituality, women's Christian living. Joining me is the author herself, life coach Mrs. Marva A. Titley-Smith. Mrs. Smith, welcome to 284 Media. Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm so excited to talk with you about Time to Thrive.
Likewise. Now, before we get into the conversation, Deb Wolf, author of 52-week devotional journal for women, said, and I quote, "If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and pressed down by your overly busy life, if you long to thrive in your God-given abilities by wisely choosing what's most important, you need this book. I loved it, and I only wish I could have read it years ago. Each devotion will help you," she says, "seek God's direction and help you so you can make wise choices that will help you to thrive." And the reviews continue from Barbara L. Peacock, author of Soul Care in African American Practice, that is from the Biblical Studies at Chung University, and many others. When you hear, when you hear these absolutely remarkable reviews, how does that make you feel as an author, sharing your very vulnerable stories and life experiences with the world?
It's actually a very humbling feeling, because the women who have written those reviews are women that I look up to, and they are authors and very accomplished, and to think that they have read my book and given this sort of feedback makes me feel humbled and amazed at the same time, because now I feel as if, you might have friends who are reading it and close persons who are reading it, and they're giving you their feedback, and you're thinking they're just being kind.
Yes.
But when you have someone else and they're giving you the kind of feedback that says, this is really something I wish I had years ago, then you feel as if you're onto something.
Beautiful. Now, what prompted you, Mrs. Smith, to write Time to Thrive?
I think it was really born out of my own experience as a working woman, trying to do all the things, and the experience that I had in terms of work and family and a career, and as a Christian woman, trying to be the best person that I could be,
Yes.
and then feeling as though I had so many balls juggling and dropping some of them sometimes, and a need to really encourage women who are also in that place. So I think of it as the advice that I would have given my younger self,
Good.
but also the advice that I'm giving myself now, because even today, the struggles continue, right? They don't just go away. We're always trying to do so many things and so many things on our plate. So this really was born out of that need to encourage women to say, you are not alone, and that God has got this. You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
If there was one thing you would tell your younger self, the younger wife or new mom or new author or businesswoman, what would that be?
It would probably be that you can slow down, that it's okay. You can take a break. The world is not going to stop spinning if you pause for a minute, and particularly if you pause and sit at Jesus' feet. Because I feel as if sometimes we're going at that breakneck speed and not giving ourselves permission to take the time that we need to replenish and to be refreshed. And I wish that I could tell my younger self that and know that it's going to be okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your honesty. I want to talk a little bit about the structure of this book. Tell us about it.
It's actually a 6-week devotional, and so what you will find is a daily devotion that is a bite-sized nugget. So the devotions are actually quite short. You can read them in about 15 minutes. So there's a short devotion to start off with, and then there's some reflective questions. There's a passage of scripture to read, and then there's a prayer that I actually write out for you that you can follow along. But my whole intent with this, Ron, is to be able to get women to get back into the Word, to get back into their time with God, to know that they can thrive in just that short time. Sometimes we feel as though we have to keep going and we have to, when we do slow down, it needs to be an hour long. But in fact, if you have 15 minutes, if you have 5, you can do this. So it's those short pieces of nuggets of wisdom. And then each day I have a Thrive thought for today that you can take with you. Just a short little piece, a little sentence, if you will, that will then remind you to thrive no matter how busy your day will be.
Why did you think it important for you to structure the book in such a manner?
Because I've seen for myself that some devotions are actually overwhelming. I have some devotional books that I love, but I know that when I sit down and read them, I have to have a good half an hour, 45 minutes. And sometimes it's just not realistic. So I felt as though for me, and I knew other women needed this as well, that instead of having that entire block of time, I just want to have that few minutes that I can still connect with God, that I can still receive the encouragement from the Word, and that I can still be inspired to get up and go about my day knowing that God is with me. So I wanted to make sure that women can sit at His feet and feel inspired and keep going.
Indeed. Now, in the beginning of the book, you mention a Thrive assessment. Tell us about that.
Thrive Assessment is actually a tool that I developed for my coaching clients a few years ago, because I realized that we have all these different areas of our lives, and sometimes we're not quite sure how we're doing. If you ask a woman, she might say, yeah, I'm doing okay, you know, but it's sort of glossing it over. And what the Thrive Assessment does is it looks at those 8 core life areas, and you're encouraged to actually assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you doing in those areas? And then to be able to make some plans to improve them or to tweak but it gives you a sort of at a glance look as to how your life is going so that you can improve. And so that forms the basis even as you go through the devotion. So as you see some tips for, your finances, for example, or for your career, you can say, okay, yes, I know that's an area that I need to work on. So the assessment forms a basis, and then the devotion builds on those things as well.
Understood. Now, what do you say to the woman of any age who is so overwhelmed by work and a personal life, family life, that she thinks she's too busy to thrive?
The first thing I would say is that you're not alone. You're not alone. We get that. I get that. I know times when I've felt like I'm too busy. I can't slow down. I can't stop. And that's okay. But you don't have to stay there. Again, if you can just tack this on to something else that you're doing, if we all have times where we're sitting down in the bathroom, or times when we can be waiting in a line, you can actually have that time and use it in a way that will still please God. So sometimes we're saying that we're too busy, but it's to look at your schedule again in a different way. And maybe it's having a friend help you figure out, okay, how can I actually do this? So instead of saying I'm too busy, let's start to look a little bit more closely at your schedule and see that, yes, you do have 15 minutes.
One of the things that I'm hearing from you is that essentially you're encouraging women to be more deliberate and strategic and really process their time and use it for whatever they can. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly. Because if we're not intentional, the time will just tick away. It will still keep going.
All right. What recommended? You have a weekly review in the book. What does that involve?
That's actually a time where you can have some structured time on the weekend to reflect how the week went. And so it's an intentional pause in your week. It's that your Sabbath rest, even, if you want to think of it that way. So I give you a recap, some questions, and recap stands for a couple of things. It's to reflect, it's to examine, it's to celebrate, anticipate what's coming up in the week, and then to prayerfully plan what you're going to do next. So it's that time where you can look back, see where you are, and then plan how you're going to move forward. Again, it's about being intentional.
Now, the book is designed really for God's plan, and you mentioned meeting Him at His feet. What do you say? Does this book, would you suggest that this book speaks to women who may not be Christians, who would say that I don't have a personal relationship with Christ, I don't go to church, I don't pray often? Do you think that they could still connect with this piece of work?
I would definitely say that, yes, because whether you're a Christian for many years, or you're a new Christian, or you're just curious about God, you will find in this book that there are things that you can relate to. Because as women, we face a lot of the same or similar struggles, and so that you will see yourself in this book, and you will also meet God in this book. So wherever you are on your journey, I think this book is for you.
Great. Now, what message do you want your readers to walk away from after reading Time to Thrive?
The bottom line is that you can thrive no matter how busy you are, no matter how overwhelming your life might seem, no matter how crazy things might get. You can do this, and God is with you. He wants you to thrive. He actually sent His Son so that you can thrive. So yeah, come on, let's do this, ladies.
Now, I know the official launch locally will be taking place this Thursday. Tell us about the launch, and also where can women buy the book, or where can men purchase the book for the women in their life? How can we connect with you?
I like how you're thinking. The book is actually going to be available.
It's a team effort.
Yes, the book is going to be available at the Nook bookstore. That's where the launch is happening. It will be a time where you can come and meet me as the author, and then get a copy of the book signed. So it's on Thursday evening at 5:30 to 7:30. You can just stop by and pick up a copy of the book there. And even if you're not able to make it on Thursday, then thereon after, you'll be able to get a copy of the book from the Nook bookstore in Wotown.
All right, and also viewers, Time to Thrive is available in both paperback and ebook formats. So we encourage you to get your copy, or as I mentioned earlier, get a copy for that a special woman in your life who you think could benefit from a Time to Thrive. Mrs. Smith, I just want to thank you so much, first of all, for your honesty, your candidness in putting your work and your story out there. Of course, sharing with women that they can thrive. I think, like you mentioned earlier, sometimes persons go through experiences and they feel like they're alone, but clearly, based on your experiences, you want them to understand and know that they are not, and all things are possible. And secondly, I'd like to congratulate you once again on the book, and thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Viewers, that's all the time we have. Make sure you get your copy of Time to Thrive by local author Mrs. Marva Titley-Smith. Thank you so much, and do have a beautiful rest of the day. Bye-bye.